Thank you so much. Thank you. You've been fantastic. Superb. Superb. And you keep. That's what happened. We love you. Take it easy. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Academy of Tone. Well, today we have a super special Deep Purple, and I had the honor and pleasure to be with the guys for the whole concert on stage and behind the scenes. And I did a very nice interview with Simon McBride, the new guitar player. Well, new, he plays with Deep Purple already for like 2 years in the band. Very nice guy. I met him actually 2 years ago, the first time, and now we had a lot of time behind the scenes. It was so good, and therefore this episode is a special about this band and about Simon. Yeah, let me explain what happened that day. Okay, I got my invitation here. The working people. You see the date, which was the 31st of October this year, and it's the One More Time tour. One More Time. Yeah, I mean, Deep Purple is a legendary band. You can tell that they're getting a bit older, but they still can do it, as you could hear in the intro. I mean, Smoke on the Water is a classic, and it grooves, and they do a fantastic job. The people love it. I enjoyed it very much, and I think Simon especially does a great job in the band, since he had to replace Steve Morse, who had some issues with carpal tunnel, whatever that is, with the fingers. Yeah. So how did I get there? The opening act for the night was Jefferson Starship, and Jude Gold, the guitar player in that band, again a legendary band that has the roots back in the 60s. They have a lot of hits from all the different eras. I mean, they play the Flower Power song, and then they play also the hits from the 80s, like We Built a City on Rock and Roll, Sarah, and when you watch the show, you know the songs. Again, a super nice band. You could see that they were also standing next to me, where we both were watching the Purple set. Yeah, when thinking about what happened that day, me driving to Luxembourg, having made the appointment, the first thing that happened to me was very nice. I came to the back door of the Rock Hall in Luxembourg, because this was the meeting point with Jude Gold, who was giving me the badge, all areas badge, to come in. And I was actually having another guest with me, which was Norbert. This is the dad of Julian. Julian is the engineer that works for BluGuitar, and his birthday was the day before, on the 30th. So when I arranged the whole thing, Julian took notice of me when I said, "Hey, I got this extra ticket, who should I take with me to Luxembourg?" And he says, "My dad." So yeah, easy peasy, I hooked up with Norbert, and we both drove to Luxembourg, arriving at the back door of the hall, and then nobody there except for a few French people. So I was talking English, and then there was a guy coming around the corner and said, "Thomas!" And this was the German guy who was doing the catering. So he knew me from gigs that I play. Then I needed to park the car, and it's kind of, well, you get a ticket here and there. So he said, "I know a very good space." Then he joined us in the car. We parked the car. We walked back to the venue. We got the passes, and then we went into the venues, up the stairs, and boom, we bumped into Simon. And then I thought, you know what? Let's take the chance and ask him if he would be up for an interview. And he said, "Okay, why not? I still have a couple of minutes. Dinner is going on from whatever, 6 to 8 or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we can do it. Where shall we do it?" So everywhere were people talking, all the backstage area were busy with personnel arranging things and a lot of noise going up. So I thought, you know what? Let's go upstairs let's see what's on the next floor if there's anybody. So there was nobody, and guess what we did? We did a little interview. I think it was maybe I was still with Jude, and Jude was holding the camera, and I was doing that interview just up the stairs. Yeah. Simon is not only a guitar player, he's also a singer, a producer, composer, and he was a teacher. So this is when he spotted me when I was taking photos afterwards, which is kind of nice. So I was actually listening to his sound on stage from like in front of the stage, and he plays quite loud. I have to admit, it's real rock and roll, so that's totally cool. Yeah, Simon has a long history, of course, and he played with Don Airey in Don Airey's band. He has released some solo albums. Yeah, as we can see, he plays Engl amps. I talked with him about the amps as well. He has a very nice pedalboard that we can talk about. The gig rig, or Daniel Steinhardt was doing his pedalboard. Yeah, and in the end, we had a nice day. I think we should watch that interview first. So a few minutes with Simon McBride. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Simon McBride.
Hey.
Big pleasure to see you again. I've been here last year seeing you guys.
Right.
And this was my first experience seeing you in this world-class band
Yeah.
that everybody, every guitar player is dreaming about to play in.
Yes, I'm very lucky to be a part of it.
Yeah,
You know,
and honestly, you do such a brilliant job doing it, because
thanks, man.
I think it's a heavy job to do it, being in the footsteps of the greatest of them all.
Yeah, it's one of those things, when you look at the history of Purple, from Ritchie to Satriani to Tommy to Steve, it's like all these great players.
Yeah.
And but to be honest, I don't really think about it that much, because I just have to be me and do it.
And this you can really feel. I was watching the show last year and I thought, man, this guy is doing it right. He is not trying to please anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the respect to the original songs and the music and stuff, you do your thing. You know, the way you play is absolutely fantastic. It has all the good energy.
Yeah.
It has, for the audience, maybe this is what I heard, a mixture of a little Steve and a little that, but still being you.
Yeah. Well, I try to be very respectful to what's been done before, because obviously there's things I can change and there's things I can't change.
Of course, yeah.
So I just have to, that's probably why I sound a little bit like Steve or like Ritchie at times, because I'm playing their solos and try to put a bit of my own influence into it as well. But it's the only way you can do it.
Absolutely,
And the guys, I think if I tried to play like Ritchie or play like Steve, they'd sack me. Like, no, because he said, we want you don't any copies.
Yeah. And Don Airey was having you in his band before, right?
Yes.
And in that band, I guess you already played some of Don's music and probably some of the music that Don was doing with other bands. I know that Don is the keyboard player of
everybody.
Them all, it's from Jeff Beck to Gary Moore to Ozzy Osbourne, and producer of and Don Airey.
Yeah. No, Don's he's what we call rock royalty. He's been around for years and he's done everything. But in his band we basically did lots of his stuff from Rainbow, Ozzy, Gary Moore. The list goes on, Whitesnake and all that stuff. So it was a lot of fun. We actually only really played ever one Deep Purple song in his set because he's so many songs he can choose from, and he always wanted to play his own solo stuff as well, which I was part of. So
of course,
but it's been a fun last 10 years for me.
Absolutely,
playing with Don and now doing this and stuff. So considering after COVID, You know, during COVID, I was doing nothing.
Like we have been. I started my video channel, and you probably had some time to practice.
Yeah. I was practicing. I was doing stuff online like everybody else, just trying to, you know, just keep going. But and then all of a sudden, this came at my door just after COVID. I was like, wow, how the hell did this happen? You know?
Yeah. So. Gear-wise, you are wearing the PRS shirt proudly, which means
they give them to me for free.
That helps.
Gear-wise, I'm still using PRS. I've used PRS for 27 years now, a long time. So, you know, they're a great company. They're great to work with, and nothing is a problem. You know, the guitars are amazing.
Yeah,
but.
The quality of PRS guitars is, for me, you come to a music store, you grab a PRS guitar, and it's like, it's even in tune.
Yes.
You know, everything is like set perfectly. Yeah. It's always, how can they get such a good quality control?
It's that, and it's the aftermarket thing as well, where if I'm stuck or I need something, I just pick up the phone and it's like, yep, no problem. When do you want it? Where do you want it? You know, that's sometimes it's more important than actually just. But PRS, still using those, and then still using the Engl stuff. Stuff.
I was just mentioning another German brand, Engl. Yeah, I of course know them well, and I know the new guys behind Engl, and you know, all the industry is so small, so sometimes we chat behind the scenes. Where do you get this part from? And is this your speaker manufacturer? Is they any good? And you know, so. Good. What is the Engl model that you are using?
It's a version of their artist edition, which is basically like an old souped up Marshall, really. You know, but I got them to tweak a few things on it because it was Tommy, my guitar tech. He brought it. He found it online. He says, so the Engl guys brought a couple for me to try at one of the shows, and I really liked it. But it was kind of missing that little bit of that mid hump, which I like, you know, so they
tweaked it to your likings.
Yeah, so it's basically an artist edition only with my tweaks and stuff. So, but yeah, it's great amp.
Hey, thanks for all the infos, Simon.
No problem.
Big pleasure.
Oh, cheers, thanks.
Yeah. Hey, I will be watching you later.
Good.
Cheers. Yeah, great interview. And I have to say, I just turned around and guess what happened? Somebody coming up the stairs, Mr. Don Airey, and says, "Hey, Thomas, what are you doing here?" And I know Don quite well for many years. I don't know. We actually played together in the UK. This is a picture we have done 2 years ago. I didn't take any pictures this time with Don, but I found stuff that I had to show him, and he was very excited about, hey, you are the only guy that has this recording of a special idea that he sent me once. And I have to see if I can actually find that. So Don is one of the best keyboard players on this planet, honestly. He plays anything. I mean, piano, grand piano, the Hammond B3 organ, the synthesizers, you name it. And he worked with everybody. I mean, Jeff Beck. He worked, of course, Deep Purple. And then Gary Moore and Ozzy Osbourne. I have to do an interview with him because he played with literally every great guitarist, rock guitar players on this planet, and he knows exactly what they need to be backed up. And he's so intense on the instrument. When you look at the running order, what's going on at a day with Deep Purple, at 5 in the afternoon, Don is going on stage doing a sound check himself, being there, spending whatever, half an hour just with him and his setup, having fun, practicing the piano, and he does it every day. I know that because he has done this so many times when I was watching them. He doesn't skip that. So you can see 5 p.m. Don Airey keyboard check. And it's it's more than checking if there's signal. No, he really goes for the instrument. He really enjoys playing those instruments. He's still hot for the instrument, and I kind of really admire that. Yeah, and there's another picture of Don and myself with his brother Paul. This was in LA after NEM. Paul was a working colleague that I have had so much good times with. He came into my life as a sales representative from Celestion speakers. So he tried to sell me Celestion speakers, and I always was teasing him. It's like, yeah, this one is just okay. I have some old vintage speakers that are much better. And guess what? Paul and myself, we are responsible for a few Celestion speakers that you know today. It's probably the Vintage 30 and some others. Ian White was the engineer back then. He would know exactly. I forgot about all that stuff. But anyway, as we can see, we go back a long way. And there's a little clip that also goes back this long, when I was at Frankfurt Musikmesse, when this was kind of the show of the world. We had a superstar set up with Ian Paice on drums, Don Airey keyboards, Thijs van Leer keyboards. We had 2 keyboard players, and Thijs was also playing the organ, and the flute. Alvin Mills was the bass player, and who was it Pity, or we had some percussion player as well. Anyway, check that out. We had a song by Billy Cobham Stratus. We played some other songs. We played some of my songs blended into some Deep Purple, Black Knight, and but we watched the Stratus song. You can find more on YouTube. Just put in Ian Paice and Thomas Blug, or Blug Paice. You will find it. Enjoy. Yeah, this was Don Airey, Ian Paice, and them all. And yeah, Thijs van Leer, the man from the Thomas Blug band. I mean, Thijs van Leer is the man who is Mr. Focus. Where is my finger? No, here's my finger. This is Thijs van Leer. And yeah, we recorded this album together. Maybe you know it. Soul and Pepper. Well, Soul and Pepper, with some of my most beautiful songs. And we also have made the live DVD for those who have never heard me with Thijs van Leer. It's a few years old, but it's old but gold. Good music never gets outdated. I mean, and you know, this was a jam. What you just have seen with the Deep Purple guys was a jam. They are real first-class musicians. I mean, they got ears, they follow, they have ideas, anything. You know, this is like, let's go, there's no rehearsal. We went on stage and we played, let's play Stratus, let's see what happens. And I was trying to do a little bit the leading here and there, but wow. I'm still blown away by how good Ian, Don, and they are all, you know, and Elvin, killer. Thijs, not even to mention Thijs. Thijs is another class of its own. This guy is crazy. They are all crazy. They're all crazy good musicians. Yeah, talking about crazy good, as I told you guys, Don is still doing it every day. He goes, when he plays, he goes on stage in the hall and he does his sound check and he plays, he improvises, things like that. I have recorded some of his solo section in the Deep Purple live set. Check that out. Real deal keyboards. This was only the end. Before that, I don't want to record the whole show. There is a tremendous synthesizer solo, a killer classical piano bit that he does, crazy rhythms. I don't know, 17, 18, 8s. You never know. And then nobody understands, but this is Don Airey, unbelievable. Okay, maybe let's go back to Simon and how he fits in the band and how he plays in that world-class rock band. yeah, I had a chance at the very beginning to be in front of the stage, very, very close, where he actually spotted me. And this was the opening of the show with Highway Star. And you can hear how loud he plays. It's real rock and roll. Okay, Simon was nailing the solo, I guess. And here's another snippet that I found on my mobile phone. They have some unison playing of keyboards and guitar. You know, it's the yeah, in sync, and then it's also the kind of yeah, battle kind of thing. Watch this. I don't know if you can hear it when I play. Okay. Yeah. Okay, you get it. But you know, there's some unison runs and really worked out parts, and they nail it. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So that's what I enjoyed a lot. And as you could hear when I was standing in front of the stage, the guitar was pretty powerful, pretty loud. On stage, I think there are 6 Engl cabinets. I don't know exactly how these are used. I guess it's not all of them. On the other side, there are, I think, 2 heads and a power amp that only one of the heads is used. We didn't talk too much about the amps. These are Engl Artist Edition amps. Yeah, here we have a picture so we can see. These amps are straightforward, 2-channel, you know, souped up Marshall amps, as Simon said, 4 EL34s, 100 watt, 2 power. That's what you like. From the mics, I would assume that there is maybe 4 cabinets working, but I haven't asked this thing. There's also a nice pedal board, a huge pedal board. We have a little video that I have done of his pedal board that we can show you, and then we can go into detail. Here's some Line 6 HX effects. This is the gig rig switcher. Yeah, this is the set list. And this is the people after the show when I was filming the pedal board. So if we have a still of the pedal board, we can have a look into some details. Well, yeah, G3 is the switcher. Delay is the Boss SDE 3000, this new replica of the good old 80s rack mount delay. I had this here in the studio and it sounds fantastic. It is that delay sound. Yeah, I love delays anyway, and this is that's a good clean sounding delay. Yeah, besides that we see a Boss BF3 flanger, then a Boss OC probably 5 octaver, and then next to it the green pedal is a Boss SL2 slicer. Then there's a Walbruch Octavia. Then I can see that big knobbed Phase 90 by MXR. The homemade pedals in the middle, I don't know. I didn't ask him. That's something for the next time. I can see the Digitech Whammy Ricochet, which is pitch shifter. You can add some harmonies, or you can detune the guitar or make drop tune. It's basically like a whammy pedal without the pedal. Or maybe he has the expression pedal connected to it. I did not ask for that. But what I also see here is the Shure wireless with the built-in tuner. So, practical stuff, nothing fancy or expensive. When you look at the Line 6 HX effects, it's just industry standard, as we all know. I have one here in the studio as well, which is actually on tour now with Ali Neander, because I gave it to him when I don't use it that much. So all the effects, especially Boss, is industry standard. There's nothing super fancy or super boutique-y in the way of you have to spend millions to get it. No, it's just regular good stuff. And I assume that Daniel was building the pedalboard, and of course he knows exactly what he is doing. So he is Mr. Pedalboard in the UK. I have a little switcher by them, the Quartermaster, which works fantastic. This is a programmable switcher. I'm not sure how many loops, probably 12. You have to look it up. It gives you all the options. He thought of everything, and I'm sure that in the end, what I could hear, glitch-free switching, as it should be. And so that's a professional pedalboard with components that can easily be replaced. It's not fancy stuff. And I think that makes a lot of sense. So for me, that trip was very, very nice. And seeing the guys in action, being behind the scenes. After the concert, we went backstage again and bumped into a few people. I met some old Hughes and Kettner colleagues because they provide the monitors for Ian Paice. He loves the HK Audio monitor speakers. And we had some fun. And then Jude was with us, and this was a meet and greet, and Roger Glover was there, and they all were watching me talking to the other Germans, which was kind of funny. Then I went with Jude to the dressing room, the Jefferson Starship dressing room, and we had a nice hang talking about other things. We ended up in politics and the election that is coming up in the US, or is, it's just around the corner. The election, so we talked politics. I'm not saying, but Harris. Okay. And then the moment we left the dressing room of Starship, in the hallway, Don was coming back again, and we had another chat, and then Simon was there again. So it was a super, super, super nice evening with them all. Jude was mentioning that we will meet again in in Los Angeles at NAMM, because he lives in Los Angeles, and we usually have some time after NAMM where we can hang and have a coffee. Yeah, he is of course using the Amp-1. I have done a full long interview with him about his background. It's again very, very exciting and interesting. He is not only the guitar player in this band for many, many years, he is also, this is the dressing room. You know, the usual, this is where we talk politics. Yeah, with the whole band, and they are so, you know, warm and nice people. We talked about accents in different languages. We talked about German accents, like kann ich noch einen Sprudel trinken, which is a German local dialect. In proper German it would mean, ich möchte bitte noch ein Mineralwasser mit Kohlensäure. Oh, they went for the Kohlensäure, I tell you. Anyway, we had some fun. Yeah, but back to Jude. He is not only the guitar player, he also is an editor for Guitar Player magazine, the magazine from the US. I mean, the only magazine, the biggest, traditional magazine. And he's doing podcasts. No Guitar is Safe is the name of his podcast, and he has everybody on it, everybody, including me. So, and Jude discovered me first, going back, I don't know, 15 years, and then, you know, things happen. But this is another episode. I was shooting a long video with Jude on his life and things, which will be somewhere, sometime. Okay, yeah, back to Deep Purple. I might do another episode where we discuss all the different guitar players and how they did their contribution to the band, and what is I think every guy that played in that band was special. And just to mention the names, Ritchie Blackmore, of course, the originator of things like Highway Star. I mean, was there even such a speedy... sounds like I'm having some dinner at a Greek restaurant and somebody was doing Greek on steroids. And then even in harmony, you know, when you listen to Highway Star, it's two guitars in sync, and it's spot on, it's fast, crazy. This is, I think it was on a Machine Head, 1971 or so. Unbelievable stuff. So, and then of course there was some drama in the band, and you know, there was Deep Purple Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, different lineup, Glenn Hughes and David Coverdale. Yeah. Yeah, what a voice. And then that band kind of fell apart. And then there was Tommy Bolin, another great guitar player. Yeah. And then unfortunately he passed away. Satriani came into the band for a very short period, and I know that he joined Deep Purple here in Saarbrücken, coming to the Saarlandhalle. That is a pure coincidence, I don't know. I know the stories from a promoter who organizes the gigs, and he said, yeah, he came with a guitar case and like nothing, straight from whatever airport in a taxi, and joined the band that night. Whatever. I don't know what is true and what not. I have to talk to maybe some original members that know it, like Ian. He would know that. And then after Satriani, there was Steve Morse. I I think he was probably the longest in the band. I'm not sure, as a guitar player. And I think the longest in the band was Ian Paice, because I don't know of any other drummer playing Deep Purple. If somebody knows, I don't know of it. Let us know. Yeah, so we had seen a few different guitar players in that band, and Deep Purple Mark I, I guess, was also a different bass player and a different singer. Singers, we have seen also a bunch of different ones. So for me, it's kind of interesting to see what different musicians do as a contribution to such an iconic classic rock band that defined the genre of rock. It's not only a band, no, it's the band. It's the band that did the transformation from the Beatles and a little bit of Stones into, I would say, high-tech shredding, you know, paving the way to the next level of artistry in rock. I mean, you know, the original lineup with John Lord on the organ and Blackmore, this was a magic combination that redefined rock music and brought it to another level. And now with all the newer players like Simon, they also do a contribution to that with their personalities. Just amazing. Yeah, so as I said, I might do another episode on the guitar players, and if I have the chance, one day I will talk to Don and ask him about all the guitar players he played with. He probably will not remember, but I'm sure he has played with them all, and he played with the best of the best of the best. I think there is no other keyboard player that has seen more good guitar players than Don Airey, and that is scary. So, yeah, I'm happy to know the guys a little bit, and I'm happy to have spent me working on the 31st this month, joining, having fun and joining a nice evening with the musicians. They all are cool guys. They still like what they're doing, and they love their music and passion. And for me, it's impressive to see that, especially at an age that an ordinary guy would sit at home, drink a beer, doing nothing. And they still do the sport on stage, night after night. And this concert was in the middle of the tour. They have played a lot of gigs in Germany and in the Netherlands. And they have another section of the tour in the UK coming up. So, yeah, busy. I'm impressed. Yeah. So there is a little outro that I wanted to show you. Of course, another classic. It is The Black Knight. And I see you guys, same place, same time, next week. Cheers. Enjoy. Deep Purple. Simon McBride, the new guy.
from the very wonderful Jefferson Starship, and let's